And this is Morning Edition on Michigan Public. It's 6:45. The race for president is largely viewed as Vice President Kamala Harris versus former President Donald Trump, the Democrat against the Republican. But the race is not as simple as the two big parties facing each other on the November ballot. There are also the smaller third parties on the ballot who are pushing their own issues and candidates who have little to no chance of winning, but could still play a decisive role. Michigan Public's Rick Pluta reports.
The most famous presidential spoiler candidate in U.S. history might be this guy.
I am not leading this fight as a matter of aesthetic pleasure. I am leading because somebody must lead, or else the fight would not be made at all.
In 1912, former president and former Republican Teddy Roosevelt won Michigan and 5 other states. He appeared on the ballot as the Progressive or Bull Moose Party nominee. He may have won Michigan, but the overall effect was to split the Republican Party vote and help deliver an overwhelming electoral college majority to Democratic nominee Woodrow Wilson. It was a dramatic and unusual political twist, but not the first or the last time third parties and independent candidates have played the role of foil to the two major parties in Michigan. Michigan is a swing state this year and has 8 candidates on its presidential ballot. Vice President Kamala Harris is the Democratic nominee. Former President Donald Trump is the Republican nominee. One of them will almost certainly be the person elected in what's expected to be a nail-biter race, with small parties playing a potentially game-changing role.
0.5% here, 0.5% there of the total vote can absolutely make a difference.
Oakland University political science professor David Dulio says Michigan's swing state status is amplified by its crowded ballot. Dulio says Green Party nominee Jill Stein and Natural Law Party of Michigan nominee Robert Kennedy Jr. appear to have the biggest spoiler potential. Independent Cornel West is also a well-known academic and activist. Kennedy added drama when he tried to pull his name from the ballot after suspending his Michigan campaign and endorsing Trump. Dulio says Stein, in particular, is making a strong case to Metro Detroit's Middle Eastern voters and progressives opposed to the war in Gaza.
And I think that's probably attractive to a lot of voters who were part of the Abandon Biden, which has now become the Abandon Harris movement. And RFK, I think, is fascinating because, he endorsed Trump and tried to get off the ballot, but that failed. And him remaining on the ballot could change the results.
Look back to 1992 when Bill Clinton took Michigan, even though he was short of a majority thanks to Ross Perot taking 19.3% of the vote. In 2016, Donald Trump won the state by a fraction of a percentage point over Hillary Clinton with 4 other nominees on the ballot and 1 write-in candidate. This year, Michigan State University professor Noura Sadiq says many Middle Eastern voters don't see themselves as spoilers so much as messengers. She says these are voters who may think the Democratic Party takes them for granted.
They feel like they're captured in the party, and they don't have a ton of room to hold candidates accountable. And so this is their way of trying to build some type of accountability.
So, Sadiq says, these voters don't see themselves as spoilers, and to them the election is more than electing a president, but also an opportunity to send a message when they feel their interests are ignored. I'm Rick Pluta.
Election Day is less than 2 weeks away. If you need more information to make informed choices on your ballot, Michigan Public's special election page gives you fact-checked reporting, interviews, and more. That's at michiganpublic.org/election.